Hello, it's Brittany from Book Afterthoughts. Today I am doing my June wrap-up. I only read 4 books for the month of June. Not my best, but it's something. So I'm going to start. I actually have 3 2-star books and then 1 5-star, so I'm just going to start with the lowest and go there. If you see me looking off, it's because my cats are playing and they're really distracting but super cute. They might come say hi. They might appear in videos. They do often. But anyways, let's just get started with the June wrap up. Forgot what I was going to say. So, first book that I read was 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I gave it a 2 stars because I ended up watching the Netflix series first. I didn't know that it was a book, so I watched the Netflix series, and after reading the book, I'm watching the series. It's very different. Whatever happened, like it all happens in one night. All the tapes and yeah. So if you don't know what 13 Reasons Why is, it's about a girl who commits suicide, and she makes tapes for people who kind of have an involvement in why she does it, and they're supposed to listen to the tapes and then pass them on. So yeah, so the book, it all happens in one night, like the tapes, and then the show, it happens in a week. I didn't really enjoy the book. I didn't hate it. Like, it's a good topic, and it's a topic that should be talked about more. I just, for the fact alone that I watched Netflix first, I didn't really enjoy the book. I think because I watched the Netflix series, I was expecting things that happened in the show to be happening in the book. So things in the book were really, like, played down, but things in the show were, like, almost graphic, but not, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know, like, give it a 2 stars. Yeah, didn't really enjoy it, I guess. So the next one is another 2-star book. That is The Witch's Kiss by Elizabeth and Catherine Core. It's about a girl, Mary, who's 16, who comes from a line of witches, and she finds out she's a witch. And she uses her power for a bit, but then something goes wrong, and she decides to stop training. She doesn't want to be a witch anymore. She just wants to be a 16-year-old girl. But because she comes through a descent of witches, there is a bad guy. I don't even know how to say his name. Gideon, something. And he's been put under a sleeping curse, and he's rising, and Mary is the only one who can stop it. I had some problems with this book. First off, it was very slow going. There was very little character development, I found. The way it is in the book, so the bad guy, he is a sorcerer and he does practice magic, but only the females in Mary's family are witches, so she has a brother, and he's not allowed. Like, it's a joke that he even considers to have powers. So I found it a bit sexist, just like, oh, only this family line, like this bloodline, only the girls are allowed to have powers, but, you know, pop out as many boys as you want, kind of thing. They're never gonna have magic. So I didn't like that. I found that there were some things briefly mentioned, and then briefly mentioned again, but weren't really explained. So it's kind of like, what happened? Like, you can explain it. There is a second book called The Witch's Tears. Personally, I found this could have been a standalone. Like, the way it ended, you don't need to continue. Like, I think maybe make it a bit thicker and add more, like, character development, like more storyline. But yeah, I was really disappointed with it. Like, I thought, oh, it's about witches. Like, it's gonna be cool. No, I was disappointed. It took me a long time to read. Actually, I think it took me a couple weeks because I'd stop and read something else and try to come back to it. I did finish it, obviously, but I don't know. It just wasn't for me personally. So, yeah. The next book I am disappointed in as well because I thought I'd love it. This is a total cover buy, by the way. This is The Valiant by Leslie Livingston. I saw it and I was like, oh, female gladiators, it's going to be good. Don't get me wrong, like, it wasn't bad. I just found it slow. And, yeah, like, I thought it was going to be more like, oh, it's about gladiators, so it's going to be like a battle kind of book. Like, oh, you're a gladiator, go into battle, whatever. But no, it's more of a travel kind of book. So I should have explained at the beginning. It's about a girl named Fallon, and she is the daughter of a Celtic king, but she runs away after she witnesses her boyfriend being murdered. And she goes to chase after his killer, but then she becomes captured and she's a slave. So the book is basically about her traveling as a slave to where she lived, to where she needs to go. And she ends up meeting a friend, I cannot remember her name, but she ends up being sold to the, I don't know what it's called, like the gladiator school, and they need to fight for Julius Caesar. Like, they do his biddings and whatever. So I was really intrigued by that storyline, and I was just like, oh, it's going to be great. It was more of a travel book. There was hardly any battles, like maybe one or two. I found the ending a bit rushed, like really rushed actually. You could have worked your way, like maybe made it a bit thicker because it's pretty short. But apparently it is a first book in a duology or trilogy or something, some kind of series. So I would like to continue on with it because I do think Fallon is a badass character and I'd like to know more about her. I was just disappointed with this book because I guess I just had too much expectations based on the cover. But yeah. And I guess I probably should have said this at the beginning, but these are just my opinions. Like, this is what I felt when I was reading it. If you've read the books and you've loved them, that's great. Like, nothing against you. These are just my opinions, and I just didn't like these books. So, I'm just going to leave it at that. But on a good note, I do have a 5-star book, and I'm pretty excited about it because it was good. Now it's Hunted by Megan Spooner. So it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Sold. Loved it. I think it's Yiva. I don't know how you say her name. So it's the typical Beauty and the Beast story. A merchant and his daughters are wealthy, and then a deal or something goes wrong, and they become incredibly poor and have to move. So they move out into her father's old hunting cabin, and her father goes hunting. And this woods, I guess, is a very big wood, and there's a heart of the wood, and only her father's ever ventured into it and come out alive. So he goes in there, trying to hunt, whatever. And one day he comes back home and he's completely lost it. Like, oh, there's this beast that I found years ago, and I need to get it. So then he goes off, and the girls are like, no, like, we don't want you to. So then Beauty goes and tries to save her father, gets revenge, and she ends up becoming a prisoner of the beast. Yeah. And she has to break the beast's curse. Like, I don't want to give too much away because it's a really good book, and I do recommend it. So I gave it 5 stars. I just loved it. Like, I didn't devour it, but I loved it. Like, I just couldn't put it down. I don't know. I just can't get enough. I loved it. I loved the character development. I love that it kind of kept you guessing. Like, doesn't really explain what kind of beast he is, but it's like, okay, what are you? Where do you come from? Because apparently there's a whole magical world, and there's dragons and all that stuff. So it's like really keeps you on your toes. So I love that. I would highly, highly recommend this book. Yeah, so those are my June wrap-ups. Like I said, not really a good month for reading, but I got 4 down. Slowly but surely knocking books off my TBR shelf because I need to make room for new books. So if you want me to film something, comment below and I'll try and get it out to you. I will leave my Goodreads and Instagram below as well. So, and if you like this video, go and subscribe. All right? Bye.